Rachel, I had heard you had worked with Kate Chastain
Yeah.
before. What was it like working with her?
Oh my God, every day was hilarious. We had some really interesting times together. Like we just were, on a boat in Newport, kind of confined, and we just had to make jokes, and we had liveaboard owners and stuff like that. But they were actually lovely. They were super fun. So I think the whole dynamic was great because we just all played off each other, and it became so much fun. And the missus, she was a super big fan of the first season of Below Deck, and like even Kate and I were like, we could do that better. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. So did you watch Kate at all on the show?
I did my best, like when I had time to watch the show, when I actually had time to watch TV. And yeah, I'm proud of her. She did a phenomenal job.
Did she give you any advice on Below Deck?
It was a couple of things here and there, but there was no like tutorial on how to like hit the ground running. But yeah, so it was it was an experience all by myself.
So everyone is getting ready to leave, and Captain Lee, Francesca gives you a chamois that is signed by the crew.
That's pretty cool.
Hi, kiddo.
I've come to say goodbye. I thought it would be nice to give you something from all the crew on a chamois to say thank you.
That's quite nice. Thank you so much. That's so very sweet of you.
You need something to remember this season by?
Yeah, that was really touching. I mean, that's the sort of thing that you strive for when you realize that maybe you have made an impact, and a good one, because that's what you work for. You try to have a positive impact on people's lives. I mean, the job that we do is very difficult. Do the best for our guests and run a tight ship. So we're working all the time towards that goal. And when you have your crew collectively come together and give you something like that, it's just like, it's very touching and renews your faith in what you're doing.
You two have a really nice moment at the end of the season where you meet in the bridge, and Captain Lee, you give Eddie his first officer stripes.
Worked hard this year. I'm proud of you.
I did,
What
yeah.
is your ticket now?
1,600 ton.
Well, I think, you've got the paperwork. So, I don't know. I guess you might as well have the stripes to go with it.
That's the second pair of stripes you've given me.
First officer.
Appreciate it, man.
Because he earned it.
That happened. Yeah, that happened.
That did happen. Yep.
Yeah.
And you earned it. I don't hand things out easily.
Yeah.
You've got to get, if you're gonna get somewhere, in my book, you've got to do it the old-fashioned way. You have to earn it. And Eddie earned it. All the way along. He hit some speed bumps, like we all do, but he stayed the course and he got over it. But we made it through. And trust me when I tell you, Eddie earned his stripes and then some.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
It meant a lot to me. It kind of choked me up a little bit because it's been so many years, since I first started. Started as a deckhand and getting them my second stripe with Captain Lee, going through everything I went through, after season 3, and really hitting what I feel is like rock bottom in my life so far. I mean, really hitting rock bottom, and then taking the 5 years and trying to build myself back up and trying to rediscover who I am and rediscover what's important to me, and also increase my profession, my career, get a bigger license, and then to come back and work with Captain Lee again and just, do the best we possibly could out of really, really difficult season, to have that hard work that I'd put in over all those years. And don't forget also is that through those 5 years I was gone, Captain Lee was always there to mentor me and to be there for me through difficult questions or difficult times. And and then to finally come to this season to have all that hard work recognized and to get my third stripe was really proud. I was proud of myself, very happy. And
as you should have been.
I was That was, yeah, it meant a lot. It meant a lot to have that recognized by somebody who I respect so much.
Francesca, you actually hear Daniel tell some of the other charter guests the next morning about, what happened the night before.
Hennessy, I drink half a bottle, and then they cut me off.
What did they say?
And they're like, we're draining the hot tub.
The hot tub last night?
Yeah, I went up there anyways, and it was perfectly fine, and it wasn't even draining.
Oh, who told you that it was draining?
Hopefully he doesn't remember that. He won't remember any of that.
Ashley and James, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
I know Ash, I know her work ethic now. I know the way she works. I've got to have her back, no matter what. But then there's a fine line between like making the charter guests think that you kind of understand their problem and that, yeah, sure, oh my God, she should not have done that. Oh my God, whatever, or something, to make them feel good, but then also support Ash, because I probably would have done the same thing in Ash's situation. Like I think she was acting really sensibly and looking after the boys' best interests at that time. If it's getting out of control and she can't rely on James and she's by herself, but that if you're in that type of position, you can wake me up, you can wake Eddie up, like if you get to a point where you can't handle guests, you know what I mean? It's not a good feeling for you, Ash, to be in that situation. Like, how do you handle that? It's like, you don't want them jumping off the boat,
No. Well, it got to that point that it almost did. Like, he was down wandering on the swim platform. I found him there, and James was there. And he was like literally trying to get onto the tender. Like James caught him, was like, no, like you are stepping over the line. So I've come running down. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, think quick, Ash, like another white lie. I don't know.
But James, were you worried about kind of how Daniel is reacting? And were you worried that it could put the tip in jeopardy for the charter?
Like I said, I think with that chart, because I think that's the first chart where I was like, right, these guys seriously do have a lot of money, so we're expecting a big tip. But then again, if they gave out all the money, they probably won't be as rich as they were. Blah blah blah. But at the same time, like I say, we made good money when we were on that boat. We did well, especially with like the first two charters. So I was happy with it. And then again, at the same time, I didn't go on the yacht because I needed money or. Like this, that was never really a driving factor. I kind of just wanted to get on the boat and have some fun and do whatever, kind of get away from what I was doing at the time. So it never really bothered me.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you took like $1,400 comparable to everything else. That's really when you think about it. You're like, oh, like 3 days work, or even like 2 days work. It's not that bad, but still, when you're a billionaire, like, come on, spread it around with the help a bit.
Captain Lee, you do open up to the Seagulls quite a bit during this charter about your own experience.
It was kind of hard not to.
Yeah.
they busted in the wheelhouse, and it was like guns blazing, and I was really unprepared for that. It caught me by surprise. It truly did, but I don't regret it. I wish I'd had a little more time to get myself mentally ready for it. Because that was a pretty big leap for me.
You have children?
4.
Oh, okay.
We had 5. My youngest son passed away last year. He died from a drug overdose, opioids, yeah.
Sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
My daughter died an overdose. June will be 5 years for us.
It's so devastating,
It is. I think I'll get over it, and I know I won't.
You never will. You never.
Well,
you do then have a dinner with the Seagulls and the whole charter group, and you open up more during that dinner.
We're in a club we don't want to be in.
But you've learned some coping skills that I have yet to learn.
How did he get started?
God, David, I wish I knew. He had demons that I couldn't fix. It's a terrible feeling for a father to have.
Yeah, I know. You help us.
It helps to talk to somebody that's been there.
Yeah.
And knows what I feel.
They know what I went through, and I know what they've gone through, and to see them, 5 years down the road, and she was only 18.
How do you guys do it?
Well, you're a lot newer into it than we are. I mean, the first 6 months definitely was all a blur. I mean,
How's your wife coping?
Not well. Every day is a battle and a struggle.
We're going to help you through it.
if you don't talk about it, we don't help anyone else.
We belong to a club that nobody wants to belong to. And there's absolutely nothing anybody can do about it. I see how they have carried on and see the things that they've done.
If you're comfortable with talking about this, how did it help you, Captain Lee, that conversation, just on your own, journey?
Any help in this area is not instantaneous. It's gradual, and you don't realize that it's helped you until, I don't know, months, maybe even a year, maybe even longer than that after the fact. And then something will happen and it'll just trigger that one thing that they said that you recall. It just pops up in your head and you go like, yeah, now that makes sense. And I don't know whether it's the passage of time that helps with that. Not sure. But it's something that all too many people are going through today. That's totally unnecessary. We have the means to fix it. We just don't. And we lose 200 people a day to opioid overdoses. Nobody does jack. And it's every year, year in, year out. But we refuse to do anything about it. And so people like David's daughter and my son pay the ultimate. That's unfortunate.
Love you, Cap.
I know, buddy. Thanks.
Eddie, you talked to Captain Lee about promoting Izzy to lead deckhand.
Talk to you about Iz.
What about Iz?
Izzy knows her stuff.
Does she?
Yes. She's really been excelling in a lot of ways.
That's great to hear. And she's no cream puff.
Oh, no, she's a badass. I'm thinking about seeing how she would do as lead deckhand.
I thought that, Izzy was really putting the effort in. And the most important thing to me about Izzy was her ability to keep James on track. Because, James was always trying to fight the idea that this is work. He always was trying to be like, oh, this is vacation. This is vacation. Like, no.
What even is the thing?
It's life-changing. Go get yourself a ting.
It's not alcohol, mate.
No, I told you there's no alcohol in that.
No, man, disappointed.
Izzy, I felt really they had this weird, old married couple relationship.
Wow, guys. You guys make quite a team.
He's got the strength, I've got the brains.
Seriously.
She was really able to kind of keep him in check on a lot of ways. And that was hugely valuable to me. But also, she always was really proficient in everything she was doing. Her confidence was growing, and she was also, wanting to learn more, and she wanted to do more, and she wanted to take on more responsibility. And that's the biggest thing. I mean, if you want that responsibility, if you have that drive, then I am 100% happy giving it to you and helping lead you through it.
I always thought Izzy was a diamond in the rough. I respected her a lot for the fact that she knew she didn't belong in the interior, and she had enough balls to come forward and say, it's not me, and I'm just not going to be good at it. I'd appreciate the opportunity to move elsewhere.
So I know you just lost a deckhand, and I was wondering if it's possible if I could maybe work on deck and then you find a stew to replace me.
How about I take it under consideration and I'll let you know?
Yeah.
You don't mind accommodating somebody that approaches the subject matter like that in that fashion. And I felt the same way Eddie did, that all she needed was a little confidence boost, I think. And she got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she wasn't making cracks about her camel toe, for Christ's sake. It's not often I get caught off guard, but that one just left me speechless. I had nothing.
I hate these pants. Why? Because they're so tight.
You all right, Izzy?
Yeah, I've just got Camel toe from my pants.
Alrighty then.
I asked her what was wrong, and she told me.
Very blatant about it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I didn't expect camel toe to come popping out there.
But it's a little bit more classy than cooter, you know?
Yeah, but well, you know, she just said it so matter of factly.
Yeah.
She caught you off guard a little bit with that.
Absolutely. But that's another thing I appreciate about Izzy is her spontaneity. I find it refreshing.
So at this point in the season, Izzy was already feeling ill, and then Ash, you and Rachel and Elizabeth, you all kind of get sick.
It was like everyone was just dropping like flies.
Literally.
I got a doctor's appointment for you right now.
No.
Now.
I'm semi-dying.
Oh, that's okay. What's going on?
My guts is like...
No, you can't go down. You all right?
My stomach's really messed up.
Really?
Yeah, I've been on the toilet. That's why I'm kind of cranky all morning.
Oh my God, do we need another person and another person and another person? I was like, oh my God, we are so low on people right now.
It's oxidative stress, but at the same time too, as well as Ashton and I think we ate something too at the resort that we were staying at.
Hi. My tummy's a little funny too, I think. Last night, it's not like viral, what we've got. Oh no, it's not viral, it's something I ate. Did you have the nachos? Vegetable kebabs.
We might have a little bit of a problem. At first, I couldn't keep anything down. And then after that, it was just complete, unfortunately, the run to the bathroom constantly, which depleted a lot of like my electrolytes and everything like that, and nutrition. So kind of made me more lethargic. And it didn't help too. Also, I was taking pills for my kidneys. So I think a lot of things played into it.
I honestly think like after knowing Rachel was sick and Izzy and Elizabeth had claimed she was sick, which I don't think she was sick.
How are you going, my dear? Feeling like a UTI or something. Yeah. Cranberry juice and heaps of water.
I felt like I couldn't admit that I was sick. I was honestly so sick to the point I should have spoken out the moment Rachel had spoken out that she was not good at all. Like, I think I was on par with her. I was just kind of like pretending that I wasn't. Because I knew if I let you down, Francesca, it just would have gone to shit. Like, it just literally, it would have been all on Francesca. We would have had no team whatsoever. So I just kind of like battled through.
Yeah, that also says a lot about your work ethic and your testament to you as well. Because if I was in your position, I'd probably do the same thing. You know, I don't let anyone know that I'm sick until I'm on my deathbed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. But sick, I think I ended up with the trifecta of trauma. I was like, I didn't even know that you could get UTIs without having sex. So like, apparently there you go, that's a thing. And strep throat. So I was like, that explains a lot.
How are you feeling?
The bad news is that you're stuck with me as a deckhand.
Yes!
But the good news is that I've got a double kidney infection, a UTI, and strep throat. But I'm not contagious.
What? You have all of that?
Wait.
Oh my God.
And then I've got a whole bunch of drugs. So I'm meant to be on bed rest for like 24 hours, and then she said you should be like, okay.
I mean, it was a bummer, you know, not, you know, having a sick deckhand. It's going to slow us up, but there's not much you can do about it. I mean, people get sick, you know, and the best you can do is just give them the time and the rest so they get back up to shape as quickly as possible.
I don't think anybody hated it more than Izzy herself.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah. She hates feeling useless like that.
Yeah, that's not in her DNA.
I have a very big issue with feeling like inadequate and like I'm not able to do things. It triggers me. So when I was sick, I felt like super inadequate and like unable to do stuff and just, you know, useless and very triggered. But then when I was confined to the stateroom and I had like a king bed, I had like movies on demand, bathroom and shower, I was like, okay, this is but I don't have to listen to James snoring for a night or two. And I've got this huge bed where I can just like starfish.
But I wonder if like, you know, you hear about coronavirus happening in the outside world and then you see these crew members getting sick. Did you ever think, oh, does anyone, you know, have it?
No.
I didn't think that.
No, I didn't think so. Especially with like, I mean, we'll talk about symptoms. Nothing became pneumatic at all. Nothing resonated in the chest. Nothing bronchial. So that didn't throw a sign to me.
I mean, at that point, there was not even a case on the island. I mean, I didn't really think that it was that. I think, you know, I've worked enough seasons on a boat to know that it was just me not looking after myself. It happens every year.
I don't think I really knew too much about COVID at that point. I think it was still kind of under wraps, but I don't think like a symptom of COVID is a UTI, so I wasn't really that worried.
True.
Exactly.
It looks like at first that you're kind of ready to cancel the whole charter.
I hate to tell you this.
Captain Wheatley, we apologize.
Your charter is over. She's in the water, she's drunk,
And she won't come back
and she
on?
won't come out.
At that point, I have a take no prisoners attitude.
Get her ass put away now. Wow.
Yep, copy that, Captain Lee. She's going to bed.
Dolores, you f***ed our whole charter.
Nothing.
You did.
I've walked a charter guest in their room. Like, who does that?
And you said you gave her bread and bananas or something like that. And then the plate was there, and then you're like, you have to be on watch. And I'm like, oh God.
One of those little in jail, how you have those like little you know, how you see in movies, have got that thing and then they put the plate of food through. I was just imagining that. I was like, they take your food now.
I woke up and like kind of found out what was going on, and I was like, oh my God. And I think like maybe Chess or somebody told me that Lee's canceling the charter, and I was like, oh, that's a shame. Like, yeah, you know, I was like, yes, day off.
I decided to reconsider and give them the option, but she was definitely going.
Good morning.
How you doing this morning?
Oh, you know.
I'm not feeling so happy.
Okay, so she's got to go.
If you want to stay and play by the rules, we're fine. And it took them all of 30 seconds to throw her ass under the bus so fast it made your head spin. They said, we're staying. Get her ass out of here. Never liked her anyhow.
Well, I think that's the best call. You know, she knows better. I think all of her friends would agree with this one.
As soon as she's up, I'll have her pack her bags and have her escorted ashore.
Very good.
So we'll wipe the slate clean and move on.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
She actually got Survivor Island off, which was hilarious because I was like, oh no, Dolores. Like, you just got voted the off.
Dolores who?
Who? I didn't bring her. You bring her? No.
They just immediately tossed her ass under the... Well, she deserved it.
She did. I mean...
She compromised a lot of things. I knew her. I called Ches up and I said, go down, pack her if you have to. And if I have to come down, if she does not want to go peacefully, I really don't care. I said, I will put her in cuffs and take her off the boat. And I have the legal authority to do that. So.
It's maritime law.
Yeah, Chastain. Yeah. God, and don't even mention that word. So over the top of maritime law.
So, Francesca, you confronted Elizabeth after walking in on her and Izzy talking about you.
I came in not annoyed that you were talking about me and how you feel. The point is that you're affecting the entire crew by doing that.
Right. I tried to not talk about it.
I don't give a what you're saying.
It's really difficult because I could really do nothing about it. You know, I can have a million talks with her and I try to explain and she would just pedal and deflect. She was a huge deflector and didn't respect my position at all. She would always talk over the top of me. And so it was almost impossible to get through to her and get the respect and the work ethic that I needed from her. It was seriously impossible.
Everyone's going to gossip. That's fine. It's just the way that you were doing it.
I don't know. She was pissed off because she walked in and heard Izzy calling her like a C word. And I was literally just like, well, what do you expect when you treat somebody the way you have been? And you don't think there's going to be any backlash or anyone else going, The zero at that point, I was like, but she is my boss. So I was like, oh, you know, I still want to please her. I still want to show her respect.
I agree. I do respect you, and I do want us to, like, you know, keep rocking these charters.
I need you to prove to me that can happen.
I promise I'm switched on.
Yeah.
I'm doing the work.
So just, you know, I'll make sure to not do that again. But I didn't feel like it was that bad to just be telling somebody how I felt about a situation at the time.
I think, honestly, she might have been a bit miffed that none of the boys were paying attention to her. I think that was a lot of the reason she had an issue with Elizabeth. Well, like some of the reason is because James was like paying attention. And like James is a good looking, friendly boy. And I think maybe Francesca was just like a little bit miffed that she wasn't getting attention paid to her. Because she like full on said that she'd be DTF, like down to like whatever. I think her and Eddie kind of would have been cute, and it would have been good for us if they both like got off and it like relieved a bit of their stress. It would be mutually beneficial if they got off for like everyone.
Unless it backfired.
And then
and that would have been trouble.
Backfired, and then we all would have been
This crew night out where Rachel walks off and kind of goes to another table and starts talking to people at this other table.
We were here. Do you mind if I come over and stand by you guys? Or?
Yeah. You know the chef's having a good time when she us all off to go speak to some random people.
Oh, no. Rachel! I want to hang out with other people.
Crew nights out are supposed to be about the crew. Have some fun, have some drinks, come together as a crew. And it went fine at first, but then, you know, once enough of the sauce got into Rachel, she becomes a different person, and it was rude and classless.
Yeah.
It pissed me off.
You guys ready to roll? How far along are you?
What do you mean?
I mean, to like wrapping it up.
The check just went.
Yeah.
And we're waiting for that to get back.
Eddie?
Yes.
Relax, son of a bitch. Relax.
I'm good. You're bothering me a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Bye.
I know myself, and once I lose patience, which was already running very thin with her, is that I'm going to be pretty blunt and rude. And if I did that, I was afraid that she would just pack up and leave. And I don't want to lose our chef that we desperately need because of me. You know, that would make me look pretty bad. So I just decided to keep my mouth shut.
Rachel is obnoxious.
Okay.
She's a chip on her shoulder, and it pisses me off. You know, she just dropped all of us in the lurch and then comes back here and acts like nothing ever happened.
What happened?
Remember she quit? And then she expects like nothing ever happened. That bothers me. Just keep it away from me right now.
Yeah. You evil bitch.
For her to piss off Eddie so much like that really like just made me disrespect her even more. Because you don't do that to other crew members, you know? I talk to everybody. I have a propensity to do that.
Same.
Normally I talk to everybody. I'm super gregarious. I can't help it. Like I carry on conversations with everybody. It's who I am. But yeah, it's normal for me.
It wasn't like I need a break from the crew. Let me go like hang out with some other people. It wasn't like nothing like that.
Pretty much is. So I can occupy myself.
It's scary when she changes. You know, if you want to do that in private, that's fine. You can be in a galley and become a different person. But it's, you know, when it's in public and, you know, being a part of a crew, then it's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. And like I'm not gonna support your boycotting of the crew, which is pretty much what she was doing. I mean, she was like separating herself from the crew and boycotting, you know, the team building that we were experiencing at the time. Rachel was like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. We need a nickname for her. Everybody calls me Eduardo when I change, so we need to think of something for her. I don't know, like Ricardo. She definitely has an alter ego.
Luckily, Rachel returns to the crew.
Goody.
I'm sorry. I wanted to apologize and say that it was super unprofessional, and I'm very, very sorry. And if it's possible, may I come back and do this charter and do it successfully? And
I'm on board with that.
okay, thank you, Captain.
Were you excited to see her, Eddie?
No.
What are you doing?
Don't you know that us chefs have mental breakdowns, then we just come back again?
What?
I was like so appalled by how she reacted during that meeting.
I'm sorry, but the ostentatious bullshit, and then they tax that on one chef. Suck my
Well, why don't we talk to them and see if they're as ostentatious as they appear to be on paper?
yourself.
If you're gonna leave, then leave. If you're gonna leave and put, you know, all of us to the wind, say, "Fuck you guys, good luck, see ya." I mean, that's a real illustration of your character. And, you know, I'm going to lose all respect for you. Obviously, you're not coming back here because you don't want to, you know, put us in a bad position. That's not why you're here. You know, you're here because it's for the money or it's for your own pride.
She made her mea culpa, and I halfway expected her to. And I was, you know, I had the option of letting her come back or not. And if she'd have been the caliber of chef like Leon was, oh, hell to the no. There's no way in the world she'd have come back. I wouldn't even let her on the boat to apologize if she'd have been that caliber of chef. But she wasn't, and she is extremely talented. And a rock and a hard spot does not describe the spot that we were in. I mean, we're like 4 hours from picking up, and I got nothing. So I've got big problems. So I have to put a lot of things ahead of what maybe I would ordinarily do, or what I might feel I want to do. But I've got to think of the rest of the crew. You know, I'm almost at a point where if I don't take her back, we're going to cancel a charter because my options are really, really limited.
What did you think when she came back?
Thank
One less thing to think about.
Oh my God,
Thank
you're
you.
back.
Yeah, thank
Okay.
you. I've got a lot of to do.
Yes, you do.
All right, yep, you go back to the galley. We'll move on. Like,
what a relief. Like, you know, she's already been on board. She knows the boat. I mean, look, if new chef came in, we just would have winged it. We just would have gone with it. But I think that having her was just, I mean, come back was just so much easier.
I knew she was coming back the whole time. Like I said, it's too difficult to find a replacement. Any other person in that position, well, not in her position, like if they said, oh, this is too much, I quit, no one would be running down the dock to try to bring him back because everyone else is almost like replaceable in that sense. But it's very difficult for a chef.
Right, like with Ray, I'm kind of similar in a way, is that I can like snap really easy, but then I feel guilty like 24 hours later. I can't hold a grudge. And so then I come like running back with my tail between my legs. And I think she's kind of similar. Like she'll snap and then she'll get removed from the situation and think about it and then be like, shit, what have I just done? And she came back with a tail between her legs.
Let me walk off for a second. Let me throw a fit and then come back.
Breathe. Why don't you breathe properly for a second? Yeah.
That's all I wanted to do.
I'm so happy she's back. Of course.
You've been my rock. Like, thank you.
You were my crystal.
Yeah. You're my quartz.
Oh man, I can't.
So Francesca, it seems like the bleach situation is the final straw for you when it comes to Elizabeth.
The bleach today was the last straw.
I'm just in shock. Am I getting fired?
I told her to take it outside and she didn't. It really pissed me off. She's not pulling enough weight. She's not following through.
After the bleach situation, I felt like I was not performing at my best, and it was because I was having to micromanage and also do a job and chase after Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I'm not operating at my best, then I'm letting the team down, and I'm letting Captain Lee down. So I needed to make sure that I've got the best team possible, and I needed to make a change.
Is there a possibility we can get somebody else?
Not before the next charter. That's coming up too quickly.
Okay.
Trying to find a stew in Antigua in the middle of high season, that's just not going to happen because everybody's working. I mean, we're talking the people that aren't working don't want to work or don't have to work. So hang on to the devil, because you don't know what you're going to get.
I have to respect his decision. It was pretty annoying because I knew that was like that pressure and that weight on my shoulders that I've been feeling for the last charters with Elizabeth would stay there for longer.
It was a mistake and, wouldn't happen again. I didn't think I deserved to get brought to Captain Lee about it.
Francesca, she has a perception about me and an opinion now and a belief. And it could be hard to change that. She's not going to want to have someone on her team that she feels that way towards.
Go and talk to Captain Lee. You know what? He has good guidance. He's a very intelligent person.
He could be... Okay. Can I talk to you?
No.
Rachel and I had a great working relationship. I think Elizabeth was probably more in the galley and she was forming, a different type of relationship with Rachel. So when I walked outside and to see them talking about me, I was really disappointed because I thought Rachel was better than that, and I thought she was more professional than that. I need to trust someone as well. Of course. So I trust you, Ash, but I need that head of department that I can rely on in some cases.
No regrets of saying what I felt and being a confidant with Elizabeth and supporting any of the girls and any of the crew, period.
I did not feel guilty for talking about it with Rachel and at all. I mean, what am I gonna do? Just take all this and bottle it up and explode?
Normally on a boat, when you have an egregious with a superior officer, normally what you do is you go to your next superior officer. We're called HODs, which means head of department. If they don't follow through on it, then you're allowed to go to the next one. And so she should just go to Captain Lee.
I just kind of want to know what's happening.
What's happening? Nothing. Right now.
I'm not fired.
No.
Okay.
But your future on this boat depends on how you perform on this charter. If you've got something to say, you have a direct superior. That's who you go to. That's where you get your answers. If you're coming to me without going through proper channels, you're bystepping the chain of command. Let's see, the bleach was one. Not paying attention to the chain of command, that's two.
My regret was that I was not more assertive and clear in what I wanted to say and how I was feeling. Probably how I wanted to best articulate myself and express myself in that situation.